What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and are looking forward to the new year. With all that said though, I'm going to show you an Eagle Bearer build. It's been a little while since I've published one for a DCD headquarters because I want to get my retaliation project done at the same time. But the Eagle Bearer, I have mixed feelings for it because I absolutely love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's one of my favourite guns, but it's one of my favourite guns for nostalgia's sake, because it was obviously best in slot for a very, very long time until they modified the talent and took away the biggest damage part of it. Now, as you can see, I'm running it with good old strikers. Don't worry, there is some interesting parts to the build. It's not as boring as what it might seem. But I am running it just with strikers, and I'm not going to lie, the weapon handling that comes with strikers really does help, because it is a little bit of a beast. Connection established. But as far as builds go, it does very, very well. And I'll do a small comparison to kind of like a Lexington and a St. Elmo at the end of this video if you want to look at some actual stats and numbers. We'll just do another room. But as you can see, you know, it will hit big numbers. It'll do the work. And it really does have a survivability aspect to it if you like to play run and gun. Now you can play run and gun a bit more than I do, and not use a shield. You could just use the Banshee pulse. Go on. Oh, man's hiding from me. That red glow. Come on, man. I used to remember that being all damage. Oh, that's gonna hurt. This guy is doing my head in. There's good old tenacity kicking in there then. Woof. Those are the days. And it's part of the reason why I'm running what I am doing. Because, you know, tenacity can be no joke. Guy's coming to get me, I can feel him. Not anymore, son.
Agent, we need you to stabilize Constitution Hall.
That's a good point to switch over to show you the build. So here we are. So we're running our Eagle Bearer with damage target out of cover. Remember, if you picked it up from the winter event, re-roll it, get the blueprint from Anaya and re-roll it. But you can see here, accuracy increases as you continuously fire up to 30%, which really does help the gun because it is a little bit wild. Headshot kills grant tenacity buff for 15 seconds. That's when you saw me start glowing red. So headshots really do matter if you plan on using this gun. The strength of tenacity is increased by 1% for body shots and 5% for headshots. So really you want to continue trying to get headshots at all times. And generally you should be doing that anyway. But then you can see 40 to 80% of damage taken is delayed until the buff expires. All of the total delayed damage is reduced for each enemy killed while the buff is active, up to 100% with 3 kills. So it really is a run and gun type of talent, and definitely a run and gun type of gun, because really you can actually get rid of a lot of damage as long as you're playing and you're killing. So really, again, it's probably leaning towards more of a solo use gun as well. Obviously you can see I've got mine ramped up with expertise, but playing heroic, that really doesn't matter at all. But then this is the build. So we've got 4-piece strikers, which I'll flip through really, really quickly. Just a quick mention here for the weapon handling that I talked about previously. It really, really does help when it comes to controlling the Eagle Bearer. Rate of fire and then Striker's Gamble with crit chance, crit damage. Then with the gloves with crit chance. Then with the knees with crit damage. and then with the holster with crit damage. Now, you got a variety of things you can do here. You could run the memento if you want to. I don't necessarily like being that enforcement of having to collect the tokens to get my armor back or my extra weapon damage and things like that. And although that is going to give you some decent damage, we can actually give ourselves some always on constant damage by running 2 of the brand new gear set, brand set unit alloys. Because you get 5% rate of fire, which is really nice, which you would get anyway if you use the one piece. But we've got a permanent 20% assault rifle damage, which is worth a huge amount, an absolute huge amount. You know, no collecting tokens, just 20% always on assault rifle damage. It just makes more sense to me because we're in heroics. They're easy enough as it is anyway. And this is going to help even newer people, you know, perform extremely well because it's just always on. We don't have to, you know, optimize anything to get this. So yeah, big vouch for the 20% assault rifle damage. Crit chance, crit damage here on the attributes, the crit damage mod. And then I've chose to run Bloodsucker. So killing an enemy adds a stack of 10% bonus armor for 10 seconds. And basically I can stack up bonus armor, and if I do get hurt by tenacity, this is going to help me out, essentially. That is literally why I'm running it. If you want to run the risk of tenacity taking you out, then by all means run Unstoppable Force or Vigilance here for more damage. If you're running a shield, Vigilance is great. If you're not running a shield, maybe use Unstoppable Force, because you'll still get the same 25% weapon damage. But it just makes sense to me to use the new set. Then we've got unit alloys with perfect obliterate as well. And then, like I said before, we talked to shield, but definitely a revive hive if you're going to be running this gun. If we look at the stats, we're at 55 crit chance and 137% critical hit damage. Let's do a little bit of a rundown and compare it to the St. Elmo and the Lexington. When it comes to the Lexington, we'll be using Killer as the talent. All right, and here are some stats for everyone that likes some stats. So we're starting off at the top with Eagle Bearer, 4 strikers, 2 unit alloys with Bloodsucker. This is using exactly what I showed you on the screen. And you can see here headshots tap out at 931k. I tested it in the range. It lines up perfectly, which is great. But then when you look at the St. Elmo, and literally all you have to do due to the mods on these guns is you can do a direct swap and not have to change the build at all. And you can see here the St. Elmo actually does roughly 2 to 2.5% lower in damage on average as well, which isn't a lot at all. But the St. Elmo, we all know, is like an absolute laser beam in comparison. And as well, the CC from the talent is very, very good. So at this point, you can pick either of these guns and be absolutely fine in any content in the game, and it's going to be down to the play style of the actual gun and how you feel as a player. DPS wise, you're going to not notice anything at all. And then this is where it gets really, really interesting. We're going to sub in the Lexington, which is just well known for being one of the best assault rifles in the game in burst and in sustain DPS. It really is a bit of an outlier, to be perfectly honest. And you can see here, if we run the exact same build again, with the same, they have exactly pretty much give or take different crit damage on the build, but the same crit chance. They're all at 55 crit chance, give or take the critical hit damage. We actually do less, again, well, less than the EB, a little bit more than the St. Elmo, but we are not accounting in this section for a weapon damage talent. And again, we know the Lexington is like a laser beam, extremely easy to use. Everybody's probably got one by now as well. It's not like it's the outlier that we couldn't get originally when it first came around. Everybody's got one. And then the minute you add any kind of weapon damage talent, for instance, I put Killer on here at the bottom, but you could put Streamlined on, put Strained on. Literally anything at this point is going to let the Lexington beat the 2 exotics. So you can see here with Killer, we're doing anything between 14 to 18% or 14 to 19% more damage, around 17% more on average, depending on headshots and body shots. Yeah, you're just doing way more with a Lexington. But that is if you want nothing but raw extra damage. If you want the versatility of the nullifying damage from the EB, then you can run the EB. If you want the CC capabilities of the St. Elmo, you can run the St. Elmo. But I just thought it would be good to throw a bit of a comparison so you can kind of see where these guns are at. That's going to be it for the video. Thank you for all your love and support, agents. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're nearly at 40k. We're nearly there. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.